we go, and we're live. Alrighty, hello my friends, my name is Don, and today I'm going to be talking about the new Stormbringer magazine from Warhammer Age of Sigmar, in conjunction with Hatchet Partworks. This is the new magazine that they're putting out, it's supposed to be every week, but I've got the monthly subscription, so I get 4 magazines each month. The first issue here, actually they did the first 2 issues as one pack, and then from there it's every 4. So the first issue here comes with 2 models, or technically 3, I suppose. We have the Knight Arcanum for the Stormcast Eternals. Yeah. Let's do it this way. Whoops. And the Cruel Boy boss, along with his Stabgrot. Or some people put it, a Stabgrot with his kill boss. Alright, so here's the cover, just showing a nice scene from one of the, either the rule books or I think that's actually the cover of the current starter set. So just like the Imperium magazine, this is, basically a weekly magazine that comes with models at a pretty decent discount. I should also point out, we've got 3 bases here at 25 and then 2 40s for each of the big kids. And this magazine, this issue also came with 6 dice. So we're going to go ahead and open it up. This one came with a few goodies as well. We'll get to that as we need to. So on the front here, I'm at such an awkward angle. Let me see if I can read these. Welcome to Stormbringer. This magazine is your gateway to the world of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, a hobby where you build, paint, and battle with an army of incredible fantasy models. Your epic journey in the mortal realms begins here. Happy hobbying, Ian. Not entirely sure who Ian is. I probably should since I've been in this hobby for ages, but oh well. Alright, so this is split up into 5 different parts. There is the read section, which there are 3 different things to read about there. Collect section, which tells you about the models you got. Build, which teaches you how to build the models in each magazine. Paint, same thing, how to paint the models in the magazine with the paints that you will also receive. And then play, how to play each of the games. Okay, changing my position so I can read the other page now. Welcome to the Age of Sigmar. Since the beginning of time, war has raged across the mortal realms. This war has touched the lives of every mortal who has ever lived. The prize of the war is nothing less than reality itself. It is an age of heroes. Sigmar, the god of storms, has commanded his people to march into the mortal realms. Their great cities will be razed, epic battles will be fought, and once again Sigmar and his people may rule. But this will not be an easy task. Evil lurks within the mortal realms. Hordes of rampaging destroyers are hell-bent on tearing down civilization and slaying the innocent. Sigmar's people must remain ever vigilant, for a new battle is never far away. Victory means to survive another day, whereas defeat means certain death. And another beautiful image there of, it looks like Stormcast possibly fighting some Chaos Warriors. This magazine, since it's coming apart, I might as well tell you, it is meant to actually come apart. It comes with binders. Eventually you get them, but not right away, where you can split them up into those sections, the build, whatever. Anyway, moving on, we have Era of the Beast. Sigmar is not the only god seeking to expand his kingdom. Armies surge across the realms, looking to conquer new lands through strategy, cunning, or brutal displays of force. Bloody battles break out as warriors struggle for control of vital locations or areas rich in magical resources. Storm of Magic. Sigmar's armies fight against all manner of enemies in every corner of the realm. Excuse me, the realms. The realms are filled with both wonder and danger, from mountain-sized beasts to hideous, mutated sorcerers. The further into the mortal realms Sigmar's warriors travel, the more bizarre and dangerous are the enemies they face. Only the smartest and strongest can survive. Gods and monsters. War in the Age of Sigmar is truly epic in scale. Battles are fought against towering monstrosities that are capable of crushing foes underfoot, and at times even the gods themselves stride into combat. Raw elemental magic is unleashed to reshape the realms and to annihilate the enemy. Here, history is made anew and new heroes are forged. Let me have a quick bit about the Stormcast Eternals. Stormcast Eternals are immortal warriors. fused with the powers of the storm. Each is stronger and faster than a normal human and has lifetimes of experience in battle. Every Stormcast hero was once a mortal hero. Every Stormcast Eternal was once a mortal hero, and due to their bravery, Sigmar transformed them into immortal protectors of the mortal realms. When the Stormcast and Eternals fall in battle, they are not truly killed, for their body and soul are teleported to Sigmar's realm to be remade and sent to war once more. The duty of these warriors is eternal. It's got a little bit more here. I keep having to switch sides of my microphone so I can read past my tripod. Stormcast Eternals are clad in mighty suits of armor and armed with weapons that blaze with crackling lightning. They have won countless battles for Sigmar against enormous monsters, vast hordes of undead and sorcerous tyrants. Their duty is truly grave, for without the Stormcast Eternals, evil would rule the mortal realms, and Sigmar's people would suffer untold torments. Therefore, each of them fights with unshakable bravery and determination. Not even death can quench the fires of vengeance that burn in their souls. Some more beautiful artwork there. Lightning strikes. Stormcast Eternals descend to battle from Sigmar's realm Azir on bolts of bright lightning. They often strike directly into the heart of an enemy force, such a blazing assault catches many enemies completely off guard. The Stormcast Eternals waste no time in cutting down their disoriented foes, for they strive to end each battle as swiftly and decisively as they possibly can. And then we'll get into the second force that is going to come in this magazine. That is the Cruel Boys. There's actually a few different ones that come in it, but we'll talk about those later. The main one is the Cruel Boys, which is also currently the other faction in the starter set. The Cruel Boy... hold on. Get a better... If you could see my setup, it would be hilarious to view. I've got like 4 different stands in front of me holding a microphone, 2 different lights, and the tripod holding my phone. So trying to move past one so I can see. All right. The Cruel Boys are a race of vicious Oryx. Oryx being the distinct copyrightable version of orcs. Oryx who live in the swamps of the mortal realms. They are ravagers and raiders, and they hunt Sigmar's people without mercy. There are many types of Oryx in the mortal realms, all of which are hulking brutes that tower over ordinary humans. Cruel Boys are by far the smartest and most cunning of these creatures. Their power lies not just in their cruel inventions and their enormous strength, but also in their crafty tactics and violent imaginations. Cruel Boys are masters of sneaky tricks. They are infamous for luring their enemies into devastating ambushes, and they are feared far and wide for the deadly venoms with which they coat their weapons. Yeah, make sure that's in frame. Cruel Boys dwell in dank swamps. This allows them to act out their violent instincts away from eyes of civilized people. Here, they build crude fortresses or protect the loot they have stolen. And they capture the vilest creatures of the swamp to use as deadly living weapons. The natural defense of the swamp makes it almost impossible to attack one of these fortresses. The sucking mud alone can drag armored warriors to their doom. Pack hunters. A single Cruel Boy is dangerous, but when gathered for war in a vast horde, they are almost unstoppable. A mob of Cruel Boys can cut down a heavily armored Stormcast Eternal in a hail of rusty blades, using their numbers to overwhelm even the bravest of warriors. If one Cruel Boy falls, 2 more eagerly rush in to join the fighting. For there is nothing they love more than violent battle. Then we get into the 3 characters that come in this first issue. We have the Knight Arcanum. Again, trying to find the best spot to read this from. The mortal realms are home to countless secrets and mysteries. It is said, duty of the Knight Arcanum is to find and guard these secrets, ensuring that only Sigmar and his chosen may use them. Use the tables below on the next page to give your Knight Arcanum a name and story. So I'm actually going to do this because I didn't with Imperium and I kind of regretted it. So I'll go ahead and roll to see what I get. It has, for each of the characters, you can roll on a chart to see what the name and what their characteristics are. So, for my Knight Arcanum, I get 6. Her name will be, all the way at the bottom, Kana. So this Knight Arcanum does not speak of her dark past. Instead, she focuses only on the future and growing more powerful. So then they are also the Master of Spells. Knights Arcanum are warrior mages who fight on the front lines of the Stormcast Eternal armies. They channel powerful weather magic, such as summoning bolts of lightning from stormy skies and calling down fist-sized hailstones to punch through armor. Is that the exact same photo? Yep. Well, when it's a good one, I guess you keep it. All right. So now we have another little D6 chart that I can roll for her origin story. Roll a dice and refer to the table below for any special personality traits or abilities your Knight Arcanum has, or you can choose. I'm going to roll, though. I get 2. She is a lore seeker. The Knight Arcanum is a warden of the Forbidden Library of Skyheld, and she has learned many powerful spells there. Cool. So she's going to... I'll write that down later, but that'll be her basic story, unless I feel like changing anything about her later. Then we have, right here, we can write down the character name, and then, so, what did I say, Kana? Yes, Kana Lore Seeker will be her first and last name. And then there's also some little spots here where you can mark down great deeds. As you play through the scenarios, you can actually, keep track of what they've done. By Stave and Storm, slay 10 or more enemy models in a single battle. Arcane Wrath, roll a 12 to cast any spell. And Lorekeeper, hold an objective with this model for 3 turns in a single battle. So that'll be fun to keep track of those. All right, next up, the Killaboss and Stabgrot, or Stabgrot with his Killaboss. All right. All Aurochs are dangerous, but few are as dangerous as a Killboss. They combine brute strength with low cunning and use wicked plots to get the better of their enemies. Use this table below and on the next page to give your Killboss and Stabgrot names in a story. So just like before, I'm going to go ahead and roll for my Killboss. A 1. I got Glagrok. This Killboss keeps a handful of grit, sand, and broken glass with him at all times to fling in the eyes of his enemies. Cool. Let's see. Overlords of the Cruel. Aurochs live by a simple creed. The strong rule the weak. The clans of the Cruel Boys are led by the biggest, nastiest, and cleverest of their number. These Aurochs are known as Killabosses. A Killaboss rules from the front, hacking down enemies and leading sudden ambushes to ensure that he can fight the strongest opponents and take the loot from their corpses himself. And now his little buddy, the Stabgrot. Let's roll a d6 for his name and story. I got a 2 again. Kneebiter. Good. This Stabgrot protects his master with unusual bravery. Cool. And then again, I can write the names down here. I will do that later. So, the biggest and the strongest, slay 10 or more enemy models in a single battle. Again, this is sort of accomplishments you can get done for the character and then write down. Supa Cuttin. Use a command ability 5 times with this model in a single battle. And Get Him Boss. Slay an enemy with the Stabgrot's prized Shiv. All right, next section. So that was the models that we've received. Next section is the how to build. The second pack, actually, so you get the, like I said, the first 2 magazines in one box, and then issues 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the second. With those issues, you do receive these free gifts. Sorry, I do it in frame. Free gifts of some clippers, glue, and then the utterly useless mold line remover. It gives just, there's some clipper safety, make sure you don't snip yourself. Some very basic how to put it together, how to be safe while you're building models. Sorry, my cat's trying to jump in front of the computer. Throw her out of here. Okay. It can be useful for someone who's brand new to the hobby, which this is what the magazine is for, is to try and get new people to try it out and play. So this is a very simple build. These are, like I said, from the starter set. So they are push fit, which is always handy. I don't always just leave them at push fit. Most of the time, I will snip off the, the push fit, not ball and socket. How would you call that? Whatever. I will snip off some of the bits so that I can actually glue the model together properly, and that'll give a hold. But I will often just also assemble some of them with, say, for some of these guys over here, I would not attach the shield. Oh, I'm getting some lag. Hiya, Tom. Oh, and Tom. Hello. Sorry, I'm not really looking at my screen, just kind of reading. All right, so yeah, sometimes I will build them except for the shield. I will just leave in the push fit. That way I can take it off, prime it, paint it up, and then keep that separate, just to make it a little bit easier. And then it talks about, I should actually do that first, how to paint. It has, this is just a single page showing you what's going to happen, what you're going to get later in future issues. There will be paints. In fact, I've already gotten my first set of paints. It shows a very basic guide of how to paint them step by step. And again, pretty handy for someone who is totally new to it. Or for myself who does want to just follow, for at least this set, the exact techniques and stuff that they are showing. And I'm not going to bother reading through the painting guide and the technique guide stuff. It's just letting you know what's going to happen in the future issues. All right, a game like no other. In Warhammer Age of Sigmar, you fight epic battles with armies that you have collected, built, and paint. With determination, strategy, and luck, you will battle opponents and claim glory in the mortal realms. Let's see. Go ahead and skip those. A spectacle to remember. Seeing two painted Warhammer Age of Sigmar armies do battle is incredible. It's like stepping into the mortal realms yourself. With a huge range of miniatures to play with, no two games will be alike. Some games will see battle-hardened troops take on towering monsters, while in others, sharp-eyed missile troops will try to hold back hordes of ravaging beasts. With each issue of Stormbringer, your armies will grow, making each battle more exciting than the last. It is a really fun game. I actually do prefer the Age of Sigmar to Warhammer 40k. 40k is just a little bit more popular. Sci-fi, in the US at least, is just more more popular. More people can get behind, lasers and spacemen than they can behind elves and orcs, I guess. All right, your first game. So, like I said, this is it comes with these two models that you can play your first game with. It does at the back, and it shows it there. Have little pages you can cut out the wound markers. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep my magazine intact. All right, so for your first game, I haven't built the models yet, so I'm not going to be doing this today, but I might do it later just for fun after I've built the models. Though, again, of course, these are the third of these models that I've gotten, so my third Knight Arcanum and Kiloboss and Stabagrat. But doesn't matter to me. I'll collect as many models as I feel like, right? All right. Your first game. It is time for battle. In your first game of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, you'll learn how to fight with your models, how to use dice, and how to slay your enemies. Duel of Champions, A Playthrough 1, is the perfect game to start with. So this is, I'm not going to bother reading through all of this. It just shows, everything that you need. There is a map I guess map is the right word, a tabletop cover that kind of gives a little bit of terrain, and that came with this magazine. I'll show that off in a little bit. It shows you what you need, which is an opponent to play with, optional. You can play by yourself. The Knight Arcanum, the Kiloboss, dice, battle mat, that's a good word for it, battle mat, and wound markers. Like I said, I'm not going to bother with the wound markers. I'm just going to use dice to mark wounds. Put the Stabagrat aside, unfortunately. All right, and Duel of Champions. Danger lurks around every corner in the mortal realms, and battle is only ever a breath away. As a Knight Arcanum searches for knowledge in a lost ruin, she is ambushed by a cunning Kiloboss. Your first battle. In this battle, you will tell the story of a duel between a Knight Arcanum and a Kiloboss. The models you received in this issue. Follow along with the instructions and keep your dice handy. Start below, then follow the steps to the next pages to take it in turns to fight with your models. So it is a very simple, basic battle. It doesn't do a lot of the steps that are actually in the game. This is, like I said, excuse me, sorry, cat needs attention. it's trying to teach the very basics to new players, people who've never played before. So cutting out the movement phase, the shooting phase, the magic phase, just keeping it simply to I roll dice to try and kill you, you roll dice to try and kill me, somebody dies, end of game, is a great thing to start with to help people understand the basics. And it has this interesting little flow chart for this one, and it gets more and more complicated as it goes on. I feel like you could write it in a way that's much more easy to understand. I feel like when you're actually playing, going through the turns, it makes more sense than just reading it aloud. You go through the Knight Arcanum's attacks, what it needs to hit, what it needs to wound, and then if the kill boss is still alive, go to 3. If it's slain, go to 5, which is on the next page. 3 on this page, 5 on the following page. Do these here. You attack, you try to kill, or you do try to hit, try to wound. If the Knight Arcanum is still alive, go back to 1. If the Knight Arcanum dies, and you flip to the next page to see the final results. There is a little blurb for each of them, whichever one won. Then we've got, on this page, a nice little image of everything that comes in the... Sorry, distracted by my comments. Hi there. Audio quality is better? Thank you. I think I finally figured out this darn mic. Anyway, all the components that come inside the magazines for the, I think it's 90 different issues. All these are on the Forces of Order. All these ones on the Forces of Destruction. It's got an image of the next 2 issues, but also, if you turn the page, much better close-up of what comes in those issues. Issue 2 is 10 Gut Rippers. They are a standard troop for the orcs. One after that is 5 Vindictors, another standard troop for the Stormcasts. Alright, so that is it for the magazine. We've got a couple of bonuses that came in this one. We have, so first off, cover here, it has, like it says on the front, a poster, which is the, if you look it up, or if you've seen it before, it is the cover of the special edition rulebook that came with the, what was it called? Oh, I don't have a box in front of me. Dominion box, which was at the launch of 3rd edition. It has the special character Andrasta. She's an angelic character. I should just open it up and show you, but it's too big. It opens up 4 more times after this. So this little pamphlet shows you, it just talks about Age of Sigmar, it talks about all the different aspects we already talked about, read, collect, build, paint, play. It shows you what the binder looks like, which that is actually the image on the poster. If I can put that in frame. Next, flip open. Shows that same thing that was on the last page of the magazine. All the components that come in the magazines. A little bit about the Forces of Order. There are the Stormcast Eternals. You get some Sylvaneth, which are tree people, basically, tree spirits. And Caradron Overlords, which are a faction of dwarves. On the Forces of Destruction, we have the Cruel Boys, those orcs. Oh, a little bit of a glare. We've got the Gloomspite Gits, which is a faction of goblins. They optionally also can use these little monsters called squigs, which are basically a mushroom monster that has giant mouths and teeth. And then the Iron Jaws, which are a heavily armored faction of orcs. In the top half, I don't think I can even get it in frame. Just again, talking about the Mortal Realms and what comes in the magazine. And then, that big old poster. There she is, Andrasta. I'm not going to bother with trying to open that all up so that you guys can see it. Oop, let's see if I can remember how to fold this back up. Okay. But it's a nice poster. I might put it up somewhere if I feel like it. Okay, and then, again, a little insert that shows you everything that comes in the in the magazines. This one is the Forces of Order. It's got them all numbered. On the next pages, it shows what each of them are. You can also, for each one, you can give them a name, mark down if you've built, paint, and played with each of them, which is nice. I think that's a cool addition. There's the Stormcasts. On the opposite side, we have the Forces of Destruction. And again, the names of each type of unit. You can name the units and then build, paint, play. Set that aside. We have that little map that I was talking about earlier, the battle mat. That's the word. It folds out to a decent size. And I'm going to try to, if I can handle this, my desk is pretty small, showing off the other side. So for the battles, at least everything that I've read so far, instead of actually measuring out the movement like you would usually do for a game, you just go in a circle. On the first turn, it says move them into the same circle, then they fight. Very much simplified, makes it really easy for someone who has never, I guess used a tape measure before. Get that out of there. Okay, and the final insert that came with this magazine. I'm sorry, no, there are two more. Oh, no, that's the last page. And that's the first page. Okay, that explains it. All right, moving on to the second magazine. Here we go. This one came with... Well, not here. This came with 10 Auric Gut Rippers. So these are a set that came in the... Again, the Dominion box and is currently in the starter box. These are basically the standard foot soldiers for the... how come whenever I turn on the stream, I forget names? Oop, pin broke. That's okay. I'll just glue it. For the... Hold on, let me pull out my insert. Over there. No wonder I couldn't see it. Cruel Boys. I got there. Okay. So they're a standard troop for the Cruel Boys. They are relatively sturdy, actually having 2 wounds when most things in the game only have 1. They have for orcs, they have a decent defense with a 5+ armor save. A lot of them are just, running into battle naked or just wearing leather. But these shields give them a decent armor save. All right, moving on to the magazine. So this comes with 10 Auric Gut Rippers, explore the mortal realms, and learn to use armor in battle. Okay. Welcome, warrior. In this issue, you'll get your hands on some Cruel Boys reinforcements with a mob of cunning gut rippers. You'll learn how these warriors fight and how to build them, and you'll also discover more about the thrilling background of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Happy hobbying. Okay, the Mortal Realms. Still struggling to get into a good position to read this in. Battles within the Age of Sigmar take place in the Mortal Realms, which are 8 worlds made of different kinds of magic. Each realm is a vast landscape that is home to warring empires and magical miracles. And every realm is filled with incredible treasure and dangers beyond mortal comprehension. So here are 4 of them: the Realm of Life, the Realm of Metal, Realm of Light, and Realm of Death. So if my memory serves, it's been quite a while. I believe the 8 realms are based on the 8 winds of magic from the old worlds, the game and universe that was destroyed when they created this one. They basically ended Warhammer Fantasy in order to create Age of Sigmar. A lot of people were mad about that, but they're bringing it back. Hopefully, I've been trying to keep up with the updates, and it sounds pretty good so far. Most of the old heads I've been paying attention to have been saying it sounds pretty good. There are some minor gripes, but mostly pretty pleased with what I've seen so far. All right. The people of the Mortal Realms have carved out homes within these magical worlds over thousands of years. At the center of each realm, magic is stable enough to create for great cities to be raised. These cities range from treetop citadels in the realm of life to smoking furnace castles in the realm of fire to grim palaces in the realm of death, where the living work alongside their ghostly ancestors. The magic of each realm affects everything and everyone that dwells here. In the realm of beasts, for instance, plants can uproot themselves and hunt for prey. To explore every one of the realms fully would be impossible for a mortal, as it would take decades just to get from one end to the other. Therefore, the magical power of a realm grows more intense towards its edges. Furthermore, the magical power of each realm grows more intense towards its edges. So if a mortal were to go too far, they would likely be annihilated by raw elemental energies that flow here. Every realm is different in shape, size. Is that in frame? There we go. We got the twin-tailed comet up there, along with the dragon guy I don't remember the name of. No. Okay. Every realm is different in shape, size, and nature. If you could somehow see the realms from far above, they would resemble huge disks floating in the etheric void, which is the colossal empty space that separates the realms. The mortal realms do not sit still in the etheric void. They orbit around each other in an endless cosmic dance. Only the gods have lived long enough or have the power to perceive the realms in this way. For most inhabitants of any given realm, the nature of the cosmos is a distraction from the day-to-day struggle to survive. While scholars and mages may study the nature of the realms, most mortals merely focus on how to overcome the countless enemies and natural hazards found in each. Life in the mortal realms is harsh, and to live through battle to see another day is all that many people can hope for. So the Cosmos Arcane, we have a little diagram here, coming apart, of what, just the page, what they would kind of look like if you saw them from above. Each of them has a symbol in there. I don't think you can quite make out that marks each of them, but they're all connected. I guess it'll read that there. The Cosmos Arcane. The mortal realms are separated by great distance, but they are all still connected to each other. For example, the realm of light creates daylight in the other realms. The night comes when it orbits behind the realm of shadows. So that would be those two there, orbiting back and forth, I guess. There are also portals between the realms known as realm gates. Some realm gates are large enough for a whole army to march through, whereas others are small and hidden. The realm of chaos, beyond the mortal realms and the archaic void, etheric void. Let's try that again. Beyond the mortal realms and the etheric void is the realm of chaos. It is not made of elemental magic like the other realms, but is instead formed from the darkest emotions of mortal beings. In this nightmarish world, Brooke. Sorry, my cat just got... I'm just going to leave her there. She's moving the magazine a little bit. We'll see if she can stay there, if she can be good. In the nightmarish world, there are oceans of boiling blood, endless toxic swamps, inescapable mazes, and countless other horrifying landscapes. The realm of chaos is the domain of the dark gods of chaos and their legions of demons. These gods hunger after the souls of mortals, and so they seek to corrupt the minds of the weak and gain entry into the mortal realms. I broke it. All right, Grand Alliance of Order. So the Grand Alliance of Order fights to protect the mortal realms, and it is held firm against its foes for centuries. It is a shield to the mortal people of the realms and the bane of those that would do evil. The goal of those who fight on the side of order is to bring civilization and prosperity to the mortal realms. So then we have a Stormcast Eternal riding on some giant... I have no idea what that is. Okay, Brooke. No, I'm going to move you. Come here, you. Yep. You can stay in my lap. That's fine. Long ago, Sigmar and the forces of order ruled the mortal realms. Is that in frame? It's not quite. Let's move it. After years of war and horror, they are ready to reclaim their former glory. Armies of bold crusaders march out into the darkness, taking back the ruined cities of ages past and their many empires, drawing on age-old alliances and a common drive to see the realms made safe for mortals once again. The Grand Alliance of Order is united by the dream of peaceful civilization and the hatred of evil. So again, those three armies that will come in this magazine for the Forces of Order. Stormcast Eternals. The Stormcast Eternals are forged by Sigmar from the souls of the realm's greatest heroes, and they fight on the front lines of Sigmar's wars. Not even death can stop these warriors. Should they fall, their souls are returned to the realm of heavens and remade. The Sylvaneth are ancient forest spirits who guard the natural places in the mortal realms. They have the power to restore life to even the most blighted places, and they have a hatred for all who try to sow ruin and decay. Caradron Overlords are the masters of the skies. They have harnessed the magical material known as Aether Gold to create vast fleets of sky vessels armed with arcane firepower. They are industrious traders and deadly warriors without compare. Then Grand Alliance of Destruction. Some inhabitants of the mortal realms defy any attempts at civilization. They are servants to none, instead living by the simple creed of might makes right. These are the forces of destruction. They are less an alliance and more a primal mob, motivated by a shared desire to fight, kill, and destroy anything they can. Big or small, the warriors of destruction live to smash, crush, and kill. They do not do so to build empires of their own or to gain riches. They do so because destroying things is fun. From muscle-bound oryx to towering gargants or tiny grots, every creature allied to destruction is compelled by a lust for battle that can never truly be sated. Ironjaws. Ironjaws are the most warlike of the oryx. Nothing gives these warriors more joy than open battle. They attack armies simply for the fun of it, and flatten their enemies in crushing assaults. They stop only to loot the dead, and they use bare fists to pound stolen gear into powerful suits of armor. Gloomspite Gits are tiny, cruel, and conniving creatures that live in caves and love to destroy just as much as their auric cousins. They attack in vast hordes, backed up by hulking monsters and packs of ever-hungry feral fungal beasts. And then the Cruel Boys. Cruel Boys are the most cunning of all orcs, and they take pride in using underhanded tactics. They prepare lethal ambushes for their enemies, then cackle with glee as their unwitting foes wander into lethal traps. When it comes time to fight, they are equally vicious and violent. Alright, so then we have our Cruel Boy Gut Rippers. This is a 10-man squad. Each one is led by a boss. Let me see here. Gut Rippers are vicious Auric warriors who form the slimy core of most Cruel Boy armies. While their weapons are crude, their strength and cunning of the Gut Rippers makes them a force to be reckoned with. Use this table below and then on the next page to give your unit of Gut Rippers a name and story. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 4. So the Gut Ripper boss has a lust for war that can never be sated, and he is always looking for the strongest enemies to battle. His name is Rourke. Let's see. Scare shields. Every Gut Ripper carries a scare shield. In addition to protecting the Gut Rippers from attacks, scare shields also intimidate the enemy. Gut Rippers bang on their shields and give terrifying war cries to fill their foes with fear. The faces on scare shields are modeled after horrible creatures who live in the swamps of the Cruel Boys. They also sometimes will design them to look... Hi, Brooke. Design them to look like themselves. There's one in here that has an eye patch. Let me see if I can find him. There he is. He has an eye patch, and so does his shield. Okay, Brooke. I appreciate you wanting to be close to me, but this is not the time, hon. Come here. Okay, so next we have The unit trait. I've got a 6. So the Gut Rippers consult with the shamans of the Cruel Boys before battle, gaining mysterious magical blessings. So that is Bog Blessed will be the name of the unit. Then for our accomplishments, we have, or great deeds, Stab 'em Good, slay an enemy hero with this unit. We have Scary, use the Scare Tactics ability to lower an enemy's hit roll. And Here We Go, roll 6 to run with this unit. All of those abilities, all the Scare Shields and the Here We Go, will make sense eventually when we get a look at their data sheets. All right, now we have Cruel Boy names. The Cruel Boys have brutish, harsh-sounding names. You can use the table below and on the next page to name any Cruel Boy hero or unit in your collection. Simply follow the instructions, and it uses a 2d6 system to figure that out. So the first one would be across the top chart here, so 5, and the second one, 3. So 5, 3 is Rack. Use that later when I'm trying to get more names. And we've also got, looks like 2 more charts here. We have the instructions for how to build these models. As I've already demonstrated, one of the pins already came out. So I'm going to go ahead and actually glue them and not just push fit. And that leads us to armor saves and units. This is the basic rules for, or A, Basics 2. So armor saves and units. In this section, you'll find out how armor can save your models from attacks. You'll also learn the difference between models that fight on their own and models that fight together in a unit. Read through this guide on armor saves and units before battling in the playthrough. So armor saves. When your model takes damage in a game of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, you have a chance to protect them from damage with a special die roll. Sorry, it's British. I'm going to keep saying die. Called an armor save. Models with lots of heavy armor have a better chance of deflecting incoming attacks. Models wearing lighter armor are less likely to be able to deflect attacks. You roll the die for an armor save after an enemy has rolled their attacks. Each successful armor save roll deflects an enemy attack and saves your model from being wounded. That is a lot of words to say. Roll a die, don't die. In Warhammer Age of Sigmar, we call units, we call the monsters, heroes, and loyal troopers that make up your army units. There are several different types of units. Some are just a single model, while others are a group of models. Single units consist of a single model. The Knight Arcanum is an example of a unit made up of a single model. Units made of single models are usually heroes, monsters, and other champions who are powerful enough to fight by themselves. Multiple models. Many units contain multiple models that all fight together. These Gut Rippers are an example of units of multiple models. Units made of multiple models can be very powerful as they can unleash lots of attacks and can be very hard for your opponent to wipe out. All right. Then it goes into using units, how to do it. Movement, they all move together. I'm going to summarize. Fighting, they all fight at the same time. So instead of rolling dice for one of them, instead of rolling for one at a time for their attacks, they all will attack at once. They can be used to choose different opponents, but they all must roll. Well, they would roll those attacks separately, but they would all go at the same time. So you wouldn't have half of your Gut Rippers go, the Knight Arcanum attack, and then the other half go. It would be 5 attacks on one opponent, then 5 attacks on a different opponent, etc. And then dying. As your unit takes wounds, these guys have 2 wounds each. Whenever a wound is allocated to the unit, you put it on one model, you pick which. If a second wound is allocated, you must put it on the same model. So you can't give all 10 of your guys 1 wound each, and then they start dying off with every wound after that. You have to kill them off, one at a time, not just wound them all. All right, the hunt for the next playthrough. A unit of Gut Rippers has ambushed a Knight Arcanum. Will they be able to overwhelm this Stormcast Eternal through their strength of numbers and cunning tactics? So the battle continues. In this battle, you will... Brooke. In this battle, you will tell the story of a Knight Arcanum fighting against a unit of 3 Gut Rippers, which you received with this issue. In addition to making attacks, you'll also be using armor to defend your models, following the instructions below and moving and on the following pages. I left some dice out and now she's playing with them. All right, moving into battle. Same as before, you're going to put the models in each of the circles, and then on the first turn, they move together. Okay, this one starts with the Cruel Boys. So the Cruel Boys will attack. There are 3 of them, and they have 2 attacks each, so that is 6 dice. You would roll the 6. They will hit on 4 or better, so getting rid of anything that missed, then roll to wound. Again, wounding on 4s or better. Same flowchart sort of system as before. If the Knight Arcanum is still alive, go to 4. If the Knight Arcanum died, go to 7, which is on the following page. This next page starts with 4. Knight Arcanum makes 3 attacks. She has 3 attacks base. Then tries to wound. She hits on 3s. Tries to wound. She wounds on 4s. And then the Gut Rippers do their save roll. They save on, what is that, 5s or better. So 5s and 6s succeed, whereas for her, she saves on a 2+. Or, sorry, a 3+. Why does it say 3s fail? That's not correct to her battle sheet, but I guess they're trying to make it easier on the orcs, make it a little bit more balanced by ruining her save. All right, on the next page, we have a little blurb about each of them winning or losing, and then again showing off the models that will come in the rest of the book, the rest of the magazine, and then the next issue, again, we have those Vindictors. The following one is 4 different paint pots. So amongst people who have been collecting the Hatchet Parts Works magazines, everybody knows that the paints issues are a really bad value. For the Vindictors, or the Gut Rippers for that matter, if you bought those models retail from the store, they would... When did my camera get knocked askew? Anyway, they would retail for $60. Never buy retail. Always buy on eBay or on a seller that has a discount, or the starter set. The starter set is, I think it's $100 that comes with these, actually everything that I've shown so far. Well, the Vindictors, the Gut Rippers, the Knight Arcanum, and the Killaboss. Whereas the characters would be, I think, $35 each. Never buy retail. Always look for discount boxes. Always look for, sales or used models. My favorite is used models. And the magazines. Magazines are great. But yeah, like I was saying, these models retail for $60, but in the magazine, you're getting this $60 unit for only $13.99. But the paints, because I think each of these are $4, and then a brush that is not great. It's fine for starting out. It lasts for a couple of weeks maybe, but then it just dies. I've gone through so many of these that have come in magazines and whatnot. And she's stealing my dice again. Don't eat the dice, Brooke. Gosh. As I was saying, yeah, the paints are well known for being like the worst value of anything you can get. There are also issues that come with terrain, and a lot of people don't need or want the terrain. I do. I like terrain. I like building and painting and putting together neat tabletop, whereas some people just go to their local game shop and play with the terrain that they have there. All right, that said, we're going to move on to the next issue and pull out those Vindictors. Issue 3. Actually, let's get Brooke out of here first. Come here, Brooke. Come here, honey. Come on. Oh, she didn't want to go. Flopping about. Come here, you. Thank you. Okay. Issue 3. This one comes with the 5 Stormcast Vindictors. Let's pull them up. These frames are a little bit smaller than the Cruel Boys, even though the guys are much larger in stature. There are only 5 of them as opposed to the 10 Gut Rippers. All right, so For this issue, 5 Stormcast Vindictors enter the realm of beasts and your biggest battle yet. Okay, shields up. Your journey through the world of Warhammer continues this week with a unit of Vindictors. Build them, paint them, and play a game with them in the latest tutorial. You'll also learn all about the monstrous realm of beasts. Happy hobbying. And we again have a read, collect, build, and play. No paint yet. That is next issue. All right, Realm of Beasts. Here is Brooke. She's trying to steal my Cruel Boys. I don't know what's up with this cat, but she loves the empty frames once I clip the models out. She just loves to chew on them. Any paper that I leave out, any cardboard just sitting around, I'll come home and it'll be ripped up on the floor. I don't know what's up with her. Maybe she just wants attention. All right, so we have this image. We have a Stormcast on a Griff Charger. Their mount, sort of a Griffin horse, coming after this gigantic Mega Gargant is what these monsters are called. These models. So the Realm of Beasts. Oh, that's all the way at the bottom, and my tripod is totally blocking my view. Okay. Realm of Beast. The ground quakes, the skies are filled with animals shrieking, and the smell of blood is in the wind. This is Gur, the Realm of Beasts. In the mortal realms, all creatures and plants, and even the land masses themselves, are deadly predators. Only the very strongest survive the eternal hunt of Gur. The rest are devoured. Gur, the Realm of Beasts... Is that in frame? Yes. Gur, the Realm of Beasts, is a land forged from savage magic. Everything that lives in Gur is driven by predatory instincts, from the colossal birds that inhabit the icy peaks of the... to the ferocious creatures that roam the bone-strewn savannas. Humans live in the walled cities built into the skeletons of ancient monsters. Outside, massive beasts hunt each other in a never-ending struggle for survival. Even the landscape itself is shaped by violence. Mountains grind across the plains to destroy lesser mountains. The oceans gnaw at the coasts, and taloned trees feast on the dead of countless battles. It is no surprise that the greatest treasure of Gur is arguably its meat. Cities in every realm rely on the vast slabs of Gurish monster flesh brought in every day by bands. Come here, you. Okay, I think she unplugged my microphone for a sec, but it looks to be working now. Is that the correct mic? That might not be, actually. Well, a mic is working. Oh. Milt, is the mic, the proper mic, still working? If you can, if you respond, if you can. It got unplugged for a sec. Actually, let me mute this. Audio's fine? Okay, great. Thank you. Where was I? Did I finish? Yes, I did finish this page. Okay, moving on. Thank you, Milt. Appreciate it. All right, Land of Monsters. The biggest monsters in the mortal realms can be found in Gur. These creatures grow more dangerous all the time as they feed on a rich diet of magic and the flesh of lesser beasts. Realm Stone of Gur. The beast magic of Gur solidifies into animal bone made of amber. Wizards use these bones to turn themselves into beasts. War in the Realm of Beasts. Warriors battle constantly in Gur. either to tame the land or to claim rich territory from their enemies. Fighters in this realm find themselves filled with bestial rage and fight more fiercely than ever as battles rage. Wild beasts often arrive in search of prey. Even the ground itself shakes in response to the wars raging across it, rumbling and turning defended positions into rubble in moments. The next page, this is a fun little in-universe little bit of fiction. Somebody seems to have written a guide to the monsters of Gur. My old Da always said to me that there was nothing to fear from the mortal realms, and that the scariest thing you'll encounter out in the wilds is another human. Of course, he was raised in a Zir most of his life, where the only thing more hoity-toity than the people is the dragons. He looked at a Stonehorn the wrong way on his first day in Skyheld, Gur's coldest, cruelest city, and that was a lesson I'll never forget. My mother always said to me that I could do anything I wanted as long as I wasn't as stupid as Da. I've spent my life stopping others from getting swallowed, savaged, or poisoned by the beasts that dwell in the realm of beasts, and I've made this guide to help you survive out in the realm. Heed my words carefully. The wilds are full of dangers, and one mistake could cost you your life, or even your city. Okay, we've got two different monsters here. We've got the Maw Crusher. This is one that is often ridden by Oryx. I'm going to grab a sip of water real quick. Pardon me. Okay, Maw Crushes. Some people mistake Maw Crushes for a type of drake or dragon, but Maw Crushes are meaner, harder, and much stupider. The tiny brain of these creatures are filled with nothing but hate, and their massive fists can smash Stormcast Eternals to bits in moments. Watch out for a Maw Crush's mouth. Even if you escape its massive teeth, the power of its bellowing roar can turn your organs to liquid. Nasty way to go. Try to squeeze yourself into a narrow crag if you see one of these creatures around, and hope it gets bored before it reaches you. Maw Crushers are capable of flight despite their massive bulk. This has long baffled the scholars of Azir. Warriors who have fought these creatures suggest gravity is simply too afraid to mess with a Maw Crusher. And Carnosaurs. These are ridden mostly by lizard men. Carnosaurs are massive lizards who live in the jungles of Gur. Only the Seraphon have successfully managed to tame these beasts. Always check to see if a Carnosaur has a rider. If there's a lizard man on its back, it might be tame, and it could well be there to help you. If there's not, well, try to run faster and look less tasty than the rest of your companions. Carnosaurs love to hunt other monsters. If you can see bones, you may be in a Carnosaur's hunting ground. Carnosaurs feast on the flesh of their enemies. When a Carnosaur tastes blood, it goes into a killing frenzy. Even a tame beast that has been bloodied is incredibly dangerous to be around for friend and for foe alike. All right, next getting into the Stormcast Vindictors. Vindictors are the ultimate defensive troop around the Stormforged Sigmarite... Armored in Stormforged Sigmarite and wielding weapons that crackle with lightning, they will hold the line and destroy any who draw close. Use the tables below and on the next page to give your unit of Vindictors a name and story. And I will do just that. So 3, the Prime, that's the sergeant of the unit, basically. This Vindictor Prime is a veteran Stormcast Eternal who has battled since the earliest days of the Age of Sigmar. And the name is Angeliki. Angeliki, we'll go with that. Alright, Thunderstrike armor. Vindictors wear suits of Thunderstrike armor made by the Duradin god Grungi. Duradin being dwarves in Warhammer, or Age of Sigmar. Flexible, durable, and woven with runes of protection. Every one of these suits of plate is a masterpiece that would take a mortal artisan years to complete. Thunderstrike armor does not guard the wearer's body. Sorry, does not just guard the wearer's body, but also their souls. Okay, so now we're going to roll for the unit trait. 4. These Vindictors have practiced navigating difficult terrain in the highest passes of Ramut's Spine, which I think is a section of Gur, a mountain range, I guess. And they are called the Watchers. All right, for the deeds, we have Shield of Civilization. Save all attacks made against this unit in a single combat phase. Not one step back. Hold an objective with this unit of Vindictors for an entire game. And Spears of the Storm. Deal 5 or more mortal wounds with this unit's Storm Spears. And next, just like in the last issue where we had Auric names, we have Stormcast names. I will no doubt use these eventually for the models that I build. Speaking of building, here are the instructions for building those 5 Vindictors. Again, they are push-fit models, so nice simple directions. Not a lot of variety, but they look pretty darn good when they're done. Here is something that anyone playing a tabletop game should already know, but I guess they're throwing it in here to cover the basics. How to use dice. It actually goes over that the little dots are called pips. It has sides, and the one on top is the result. We can roll a d6 as a d3. There is no geometric shape that has only 3 sides, that I'm aware of at least. Maybe there's some funny looking thing that somebody's made up. But anyway, you can roll a d6 as a d3, where the result of 1 or 2 counts as a 1, 3 or 4 counts as a 2, and 5 and 6 count as a 3. Lastly, rerolls. There are some rules, R-U-L-E-S, in the game that allow you to reroll a result. If you fail an attack or if you pay a command point, I believe. Is that correct? That might just be 40k. I think it's still... Yeah, it's got to still be valid in Age of Sigmar. It's been so long since I've actually played. Anyway, you can reroll once. If you have an ability that lets you, you can never reroll a reroll. So if the Knight Arcanum... This is probably not true, just putting it up out there as an example. If she has an ability that lets her reroll rolls of 1, and she rolls a 1 on her attack, then you could re-roll it, and whatever the result is, say you needed a 4, you cannot re-roll once you've re-rolled once. So I could not pay a command point to get a re-roll. Roll-offs. If there are some events that happen in game where we need to decide a result of who wins, we would roll off. Usually that's what's done for first turn, or actually in Age of Sigmar, every turn you roll off to see who goes first. Modifying dice. There are different things in the game that modify the dice rolls, give you a +1. Again, say I'm rolling for the Knight Arcanum. If she has a +1 to her attack, normally she would need a 3 to hit. If, say, I rolled a 2, but she has a +1 to her attack, it would be treated as if I had rolled a 3. Also, negative modifiers that reduce my roll. And then stray dice, cattywampus. If you see a die that is crooked or on a surface, just pick it back up and re-roll. All right, next page. How to use War Scrolls. War Scrolls are handy reference sheets that give you all the key information about your units. They are the perfect way to manage big battles with lots of troops. Your early battles in Stormbringer will use simple War Scrolls like the ones shown below. As you learn more rules of the game, you'll get more advanced War Scrolls. So this is the War Scroll for the Knight Arcanum. The simplified version, it's got everything listed out there and numbered. Normally this little sort of compass looking thing would have also a movement statistic and what is the last one? It's wounds, save, movement, and bravery or courage or initiative. No, not initiative. Definitely not initiative. It's the equivalent of courage, whatever that value is called now. There's also, for the weapon, number of attacks to hit to wound. There would also be a rend characteristic, how much it cuts through armor. and then a wounds, number of wounds that are done by the attack. Additionally, there would be a lot more information underneath here that tells you how to cast spells or other special abilities. In fact, you can get a little bit of a look at that down here. Bravery, I was right. What the actual War Scroll will look like when we eventually get to that. Okay, War Scrolls and attack sequence. So when it's your turn to attack with a unit, you 1, select a weapon. Each unit will have a weapon down there. If there are multiple weapons, usually that will mean you get to attack with each of them. Sometimes there are, like I think in one of the human cities of Sigmar, one of the characters can choose between a warhammer, a sword, or something else, and you get to pick one of them to fight with. But usually you get all of them. Hit rolls, what you need to hit. Wound rolls, what you need to wound. And then save rolls. And then, of course, the wound markers. Next game is Border Skirmish. The Stormcast Eternals seek to drive the Oryx from the ancient ruins. The Cruel Boys, however, will not give up their lair so easily. Each side readies their weapons for a fierce battle. Your battle continues. In this battle, you will take it in turns to fight with units. You and your opponent's units will continue fighting one after another until there are no units left that can fight each other. After you have taken your first turn, use the on later turns instructions to keep battling. And same as before, we've just got 6 of those circles, or 4 of them now with 2 in the middle. On the first turn, they move together and start fighting. This one starts with the Knight Arcanum, taking their fighting sequence, using the number of attacks to hit to wound, and then the Gut Rippers can make saves, then moving on to the Gut Rippers attacks. And this is where it starts to get kind of confusing with the flow chart here. On later turns, if the Gut Rippers have been slain, go to 5. If the unit of Gut Rippers and the Kill Boss are both slain, go to 9. But if the unit of Gut Rippers and the unit of Vindictors have both been slain, go to 11. Too much. Too complicated. Could have been made a lot more simple. But again, I think reading it out makes it feel a lot more complicated than it actually is. If you were actually playing and reading through that, okay, they're dead, so we'll move to this one, etc. Then the Gut Rippers' turn, they fight back. Then it goes to the Vindictors, attacking the Killaboss. Same little flowchart. And then the Killaboss, attacking the Vindictors. If both the units of Cruel Boys are killed, or both the units of Stormcasts are killed, then it is a victory for one side. If only one of each is killed, say the Killaboss dies, but the Knight Arcanum also dies, that is a tie, or a draw. Here again are those little stories you can tell. Once again, full contents of the magazine. And then next issue. So like I said, next issue, number 4, will be the paints and a brush. After that, we get a new Praetor Prime miniature. This is actually a cool mini. It is typically when they do these magazines, there is one model that is a exclusive. I believe this is the model for the magazine. It is exclusive to this magazine. There will be no other way, aside from the secondhand market, eBay and whatnot, to get the model. And it's a nice one. It's actually, if you take a close look at her, you might be able to tell it is... There she is. It is the same character that is narrating and giving you instruction throughout the magazine. So that's kind of funny. Glad to see that. Neat. All right, that is what I have for today. I've been going for almost an hour and 10 minutes. I'll probably be back in the next couple of days to do the next 3 magazines, and then I'll do, as each month comes out, I will do all 4 either on the same day, or maybe I'll split it up into 2s. We'll see. My initial plan, I was thinking I would download this and maybe edit it, throw in some other shots, other stuff, but now that I've done it, I'm not sure I'm going to do that. We'll see. I didn't have to tell you that. I don't know why I'm telling you that. At any rate, I'm going to go build some models. Thank you so much for watching. I know a bunch of my friends, I put it in our Discord chat, so a bunch of my friends have stopped by to say hi, which I am very grateful for. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for you know, laughing at my cat as she attacks my magazines. um, this is always a blast. It's always such a pain to set up my darn computer. I have to do the audio tests to make sure that my microphone is working and then that the audio levels are correct, etc., etc. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you don't mind, please go down and click that like button, smash, yada yada. All right, that's all I got. Thank you guys.